Greetings, everyone. Glenn Calloway from the basement. It is Saturday morning. Lots to talk about today. Sad news, big news. It runs the gamut here. So let's start with the sad news: the passing of Phil Lesh, bass player from the Grateful Dead. You know, the Grateful Dead is my favorite band, and Phil was just a monster musician, just an incredible, incredible musician, integral to the sound of the Grateful Dead. Um, all the guys in the band learned a lot from Phil musically. He, uh, at a young age, was really into music theory and studied to become a composer and writing his own classical pieces and listening to Coltrane and Stravinsky and all this stuff when people like Larry Grace were listening to the Beach Boys. It's like incredible, incredible talent, and he kind of hung around that whole scene. Jerry Garcia, he knew Jerry when the Dead were not even the Dead. They were playing jug band music and whatever. And when the Dead decided to go electric, Jerry Garcia went to Phil Lesh and said, "I want you to be our bass player." Phil had never picked up a bass guitar in his frickin' life, which I think, really had a real profound impact on the way he played the bass because he approached it from his own musical knowledge, not from listening to someone pound the root note and the five and the three and whatever. He just did it, and came up with some great inventive stuff. He was like a unique, one of a kind bass player, super talented. I was listening to Eyes of the World this morning and going, man, the bass in that song is just incredible, so inventive. Anyway, so when I heard the news yesterday, I started pulling out Dead stuff, and the first album I went to was American Beauty, and the first track that I played was the first track on this album, Box of Rain, which is a song about passing away. It's written by Phil for his dad, who was dying of cancer at the time, and very cool lyrics, like just "I'm giving you a box of rain," which is really just it's hope you find some strength in this nothing really, and help to pass through to wherever we're all headed. And beautiful song, great lyrics. If you've never heard it, listen to Box of Rain. Um, yeah, so that's that. R.I.P. Phil. Thank you so much for the great music, which has had a profound impact on me. Um, Next, on to something a little more happy. I got my speakers. Finally, waiting 2 months. 2 months. So I had, if you've seen them in my pictures and on my videos, I had those white floor standing monitor audio Silver Series 300 speakers. Beautiful speakers. They were great. I loved them. Here's my deal. I keep thinking, I'm getting older now. We just sold our home. We moved into another place. And eventually we're going to move into a smaller place. Eventually I can see us being in an apartment. And so meaning smaller rooms, smaller listening room, downsizing. And do I really want big floor standing speakers? No, I'm going to get some really nice bookshelf speakers. So I'm a big fan of monitor audio speakers after I had those white ones. And so I looked, and they have monitor audio has like 4 levels of speakers. The cheapest line is the least inexpensive line, I should say, because none of them are cheap. Bronze, then it goes to silver, and then gold, and then platinum. Now the gold is what I went for, so it's the second best line of speakers, quality speakers they make. Um, I found a model called their Gold Series G 6G, sixth generation, uh, Series 50. Now, I'm going to try and spin this thing around and see if you can see them. There's Jerry back. Look at that. Let me see if I can do this. Where the hell are the speakers? How am I going to get you to see those babies? There we go. They are like beautiful, man. I plugged them in. They sound so good. They're the bass, in small speakers, you don't expect to get much bass. The bass was actually just perfect. Really, really good. I loved it. It wasn't overbearing. It was just nice and tight. That's what I find about these speakers. Everything seems so tight and separated, and I'm getting great uh, depth of field and just really, really loving these speakers. So they're my speakers for life now. I'm 71 years old. If I live to be 99, I will have these speakers for that long. If I live to be 100, I promised myself I was going to trade them in and get something else. So there we go. Next, we go to, like Larry and I went to Kingston, so you got to look for stuff, right? Went to Chumley's. I bought 2 CDs. I keep hearing about this dude, Marcus King. I don't know anything about him, but he plays guitar and he sings. And I thought, he seems like a blues guy or something. Marcus King sounds like a name of a blues guy. So they had one of his used CDs there for $10, and I thought, I'm going to buy this thing. Anybody's into Marcus King, I got Marcus King El Dorado, it's called. I'll pull this out of the thing. I got that. So on the way back from Kingston, Larry and I popped this in the CD player. We're listening to it. The first song, he's got a real kind of a gruff kind of a voice. This is actually a Japanese version. Didn't even open up the thing. So he's got a gruff kind of voice. The first song was kind of almost, it was more of an acoustic song, bit of a country flavor to it, but rootsy. I thought this could be pretty good. Second song was really good too. I think that was anyway, the first 3 songs were really good. One was a heavy blues song, reminded me like a Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of a thing. And I thought, man, I'm going to really dig this album. And Larry said it's not his kind of music. He doesn't really like guitar-driven rock or blues that much. Not that he doesn't like it, but it's not really his thing that he listens to. And so even he said, it's not my thing, but the guy's really talented. Then the next song comes on. It's kind of wimpy. And I went, I don't like that. Then the next song comes on. It's even wimpier. And I went, I really don't like that. So I took it out of the CD player and said, I don't think I like this album. So I got to listen to the rest of it. I got to give Marcus a shot. But, man, it went from really strong to really weak, like in a split second. So I'm hoping for the best, and maybe there was just a couple of bad tracks. I haven't had any track. But if you're a Marcus King fan, let me know. I've been getting into the band Widespread Panic. That's my next new thing here is Widespread Panic. I had one of their albums 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and for some reason the CD, I might have traded it in or did something, but I can't find it. So I think what got me going was when we went to see Billy Strings a couple weeks, he did a Widespread Panic cover. I can't remember the song. But then I went, yeah, I used to dig those guys. I'm going to check it out. So I bought a Widespread Panic CD and Grace of Life or something it was called. Really good, like really good. So I found this other one for like $6, $7. Oh, that's not the one. That's the one I had. Eight Life Grand. Oh man, I can't. Anyway, I bought another Widespread Panic. This is the first one I got. The second one I got, what the hell happened to it? I screwed this up. Anyway, I'm listening to another one. It's really good too. I'll let you know the title on my next video. I'm getting old. Okay, found gold. This isn't for everyone, but for me, Bela Fleck's albums when he was younger on Rounder Records are really hard to find in the wild. Really hard. Now, I could go on Discogs and pay $50 for one or whatever, but I don't like that. I want to go digging fine records. That's what I like to do. Buying them online, used records that I'm looking for, is just no fun. But when I walked into Brian's record store, and he's got a bluegrass section, like you got to go find it, but there's probably 200 bluegrass albums there, and they're all kind of pain in the ass. But he had a pile of like half a dozen records sitting on top of those bluegrass records. I pull the pile out, and what's the first thing that falls out at me? Bela Fleck, Natural Bridge. Now it's got a sticker on it and a sticker on it and green tape, but I don't care. Look how young Bela looks there. So you can tell this is an older album. I'm going to guess, if it doesn't have a date on it, I'm going to guess this album came out in 1980, somewhere around there, maybe early 80s. Rounder Records. Great frickin' album. The song Natural Bridge is fantastic. Beautiful song. And Rounder, yeah. $20. 0146. I found that and just, oh man. In heaven. Heaven. And what else is going on? I think that's it for now. So we'll come back with more stuff. I see my buddy Larry did a video on his favorite American bands. And he picked the Beach Boys as his favorite American band over Sparks. Do you believe that? I hate to give away the end of his video if you haven't watched it, but it's not really worth watching anyway when you pick the Beach Boys as the best American band. Man, yeah, like all Americans. As soon as I think of America, I think surfing. Ugh. Anyway, everyone have a great weekend. I'll talk soon. Take care.